How's it going everybody? Welcome back to Switch Stars. My name's Luke, and today on the channel I decided to take a punt on a little game called Half-Dead 3. And I wasn't familiar with this series, but as you can tell this is the third title, though from the looks of things only the first one had previously been ported to the Switch. I was a huge fan of the Cube movies back in the day though, which this game appears to have taken heavy influence from. So if navigating your way through rooms full of deadly traps sounds like your bag, then the Half-Dead series may be right up your alley. But hit that like button, subscribe for more Switch reviews and content, and let's check it out. So no real storyline with this one, but from what I can gather from the eShop descriptions of the games, you're partaking in some sort of deadly game show. Whether this is by choice or against your will is entirely unclear, but what is clear is that those watching are expecting you to fail and that walking away with your life is the prize here, as there are plenty of dangers lying in wait. Now the game comes with two modes, those being single player and multiplayer, and we'll get to the multiplayer soon. But to start with you get a choice of 4 characters, including some army dude who's rocking it casual with a pair of trainers on, a rock chick, and my personal favourite, an alcoholic looking Asian dude, or at least I think he's Asian, it's really hard to tell with his bloaty red face. Anyway, single player mode lets you tailor the challenge to your liking. You're able to select the size of the maze ranging from 3 cubed up to 8 cubed, and this determines both the number of rooms and the number of floors, and you can also select a pyramid version where you work your way upwards instead of down. The game offers 5 difficulties which have been ripped straight out of Doom, and from what I can tell these determine both the number of traps you'll face as well as the difficulty. Finally, you can set the damage multiplier and turn the minimap on or off displayed in the bottom left corner, which makes it much trickier to find your way, though the rooms are colour coded to help you out. Now dropping into your first room you'll be presented with a royal feast which you can consume to buff your health, and these also appear at random throughout the maze to heal you. The game's controls are laid out in the pause menu, but they're pretty simple. Standard first person movement, duck with the right bumper, jump with B and interact with stuff using Y. You can also throw your shoes at things which come in very handy for disarming traps or testing out rooms or breakable platforms, and while you only have 2 of these due to you only having 2 feet, additional shoes can be acquired from the corpses of the room's unfortunate victims. Now the mazes themselves are randomly generated and each room offers up 4 possible exits, though some of these may be locked whilst others contain rooms with blockages, so you're generally forced to try out different routes in order to find the exit. Upon opening a door you're sometimes greeted with a hail of gunfire or flamethrowers singeing your eyebrows, but other times it's completely silent and the real danger doesn't make itself known until you step inside. And for me this was one of the most enjoyable aspects of the game. The trepidation you feel before entering a room is exactly the kind of thing I was hoping for, and the game really delivers, especially when it comes to the multiplayer and you're hoping your teammates will be the ones to take the first step. There are of course plenty of rooms in which nothing happens and you're free to pass through unscathed, but the never knowing whether or not you're walking into a trap really helps to build the tension, and the game sometimes even lulls you into a false sense of security. Now so far as the traps themselves go, there's a wide variety including giant swinging balls of death, spinning blades of death, Gatling lasers and flamethrowers, lava pits with breaking platforms a la Squid Game and shark infested pools amongst other things. And while admittedly the positioning of some of these hazards do let you skirt around the sides of the room to avoid them, for the most part you're required to work your way through them. One of my favourite features though is that at higher difficulties multiple traps are actually combined to create some all-out death rooms, and with the damage bumped up these can offer a real challenge to navigate. There are around 100 different traps in the game according to the eShop listing, of which I've seen about 40 or so in an hour's worth of gameplay, but the combinations keep things interesting, and even when I revisited them there was still an element of tension when stepping into them. Now, I played through the single player mode a few times and I was able to manage a successful run in a 2-floor pyramid in about 5 minutes, so this is a great one to play in short bursts, and on larger cubes like the size 7 or 8 ones you're probably looking at about 30 minutes per run, so there are opportunities for longer play sessions too. While I can see things becoming a little bit stale after a while playing solo, I'd say that the multiplayer is definitely where this game shines. My only real gripe is that, unlike the first game, this one doesn't have a local co-op mode, which is a real shame in my opinion, but I was able to get into an online multiplayer game without much issue. Like the single player mode though, you're able to set up your own lobby and customise its settings, or just jump straight into an existing game with quick play, and I got playing with a few randomers where I spawned on the floor above them. Making my way safely through a few rooms, I then eventually met up with them and had a lot of fun working my way through different rooms with them, watching as they paused for thought every time those doors slid open and they were faced with a whirling death trap of doom before trying a different door. But the one big fault I'd say with online multiplayer is that there's no way to really communicate with each other than hopping up and down like a madman and hoping you get noticed. The people that I played with though were pretty cooperative and we worked our way through together, at least until a couple of us died, though another nice feature about the game is that so long as one of you reaches the exit door, any teammates will then respawn and be able to continue. All in all though, Half Dead 3 came as quite a pleasant surprise. I was anticipating a shallow, lacklustre cube imitator, but the game really exceeded my expectations and I actually had a lot of fun playing. So if you played and enjoyed other games like this, or like what you've heard in this review, then I definitely recommend picking it up, especially considering its low price point. Now when it comes to the audio and visuals, while the rooms themselves aren't much to speak about, being just 4 walls and all, the implementations of the traps transform their appearances dramatically, especially when it comes to the floors, which often get replaced by lava, spikes or large bowl-like orifices. The texturing of the environments, traps and character models is good, there are some nice visual effects, and the game actually performs great on the Switch, which I also found rather surprising considering the assumed low budget, but they've actually done a great job of porting the game in my opinion. Audio-wise, the sound effects are used to good effect, often warning you of hazards before you actually see them, and the ambience and dark brooding soundtrack do a great job of building that tension, though the random rooms full of dancing maniacs also do a good job of breaking it. All in all though, good stuff on the audio and visual front. Now I've previously played another cube type game, though the name of it escapes me, but in comparison Half Dead 3 definitely takes the win in terms of its gameplay. The variety of the traps offer plenty of replayability and challenge at the higher difficulties, and the multiplayer is just the icing on the cake so long as you can find someone else to play with, though hopefully people watching this review will take an interest, at least for a little while, as I do think it's a fun little hidden gem. And so when it comes to a rating, I'm going to be giving Half Dead 3 4 out of 5 stars. Whether you're looking for a neat little time filler title to play solo or a game to play with friends, providing you're able to get into the server that is, then Half Dead 3 is definitely worth a go. With that though, have you played this one yet, or its previous incarnation, and if so, how did you find them, or if not, do you know of any other cube-like games you can recommend? Let me know down in the comments section below. As always though, if you enjoyed this review, drop a like, subscribe for more Switch related content, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.